is.
No.
Only a small piece missing so far, but I'll start talking while we rectify this. But hi, everyone. Avi Ben-Zvi, VP of Paid Social here at Tinuiti. When we were thinking about, yes, thank you so much for that.
It's very important.
Yeah, it's crucial so you guys can see the TikToks because that's what you're really here for, right? When we were thinking about which client would really be great to have for this session to talk about how they've really evolved their social program, Liquid IV was really the first one that came to my mind. The success they've seen on social the last few years has just been unbelievable to watch. And they've really pivoted towards a fully holistic paid social strategy that encompasses diversification of platforms, different creative placements, and things of that nature. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how they achieved that success. And with that, I'm excited to introduce Brooke Cullison, Senior Acquisition Manager at Liquid IV.
Thank you, Avi. I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for the invite. This is a great topic. I love chatting about paid social, so we'll get into it. But for those who are unfamiliar with Liquid IV, we're a wellness brand founded in 2012, recently acquired by Unilever in 2020. And that's actually when I joined the team shortly after. And I have just been having an amazing time. We're in such growth mode. It's a great time to be a part of this team. And it also helps that I'm an avid user of our product. It's definitely saved me a couple times.
Always does.
Yep. And then again, if you don't know, our hydration multiplier is a powdered drink mix that hydrates you 2 times faster than water alone. So again, great whenever you need some hydration. And today, actually, we're dropping our 10th hydration flavor, Tropical Punch, which I'm really excited about. Perfect time for summer, so everyone should check it out after.
Awesome. I got to get some of that for summer. I'm looking for my next rosé drink, you know?
It'll be good.
So let's begin. Liquid IV is truly a sophisticated marketer, right? And like all brands, your objective is sales, generating revenue for the brand. But what I think is really great is that hasn't really stopped you from thinking outside just the lowest part of the funnel like we traditionally think of in terms of direct response campaigns. You've really been able to be a lot more sophisticated than that. So can you talk a little bit about how you really think about awareness branding as well as performance marketing really playing in concert with each other?
Yeah, so we've always been really performance-first mindset. We've invested, greatly in our D2C. We understand the value of owning our first-party data and being able to directly attribute our media spend and the impact it has. But we are coming off our Coachella activation. You'll see we had our House of Hydration. This was our biggest awareness play to date. We had Jack Harlow perform, Sweetie, and actually his single went #1 that weekend. So we had our party, and we ended up getting 1.6 billion media mentions or impressions. So definitely more than we could have ever forecasted, but the team did a great job. So that was kind of our first play into seeing how that relationship works with awareness and performance. And we're still testing it. We want to understand what the impact of our awareness campaigns are, how they can complement and work really well together down funnel. So stay tuned. There's definitely more to come this summer.
Awesome. Yeah, and I have to thank you because I didn't know Jack Harlow before Liquid IV, and now
you're welcome.
The Gen Zers in my division can now tolerate me being in the room, so that's great. So I appreciate it from that perspective. So I love what you've done, obviously, with that awareness part of the funnel, thinking about how to actually add that, how does that inform my sales strategy overall. And in general, you guys are really first movers within the industry, I think. Early adopters, so to speak. And I think that's something that brands obviously struggle with as well. So how have you approached becoming an early adopter? What is sort of your advice for that?
So I think for us, it comes down to 2 things. First, at Liquid IV, we have a testing mentality. It's a huge part of our culture. We have a great leadership team that is super supportive and encourage us to present new plans and try new things and always be testing. That also comes through our brand as well. Like Liquid IV is bold, innovative, and our customers, they're those early adopters too. So that reflection is really important for us.
Yeah.
And then secondly, definitely a diversification of our media mix. So we already talked about this. We're really performance focused, so we can't have an over reliance on one channel. So we're always testing and trying to see like what is a new channel, what's going to work well and perform for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And one aspect I think that is overarching that I've really seen from you guys across all the social channels is influencers specifically. And I think influencer is challenging, right? There's a lot of barriers to potential entry over there, but it's obviously where the industry is going as well. So what's been your approach there? And really, why has it worked so well for Liquid IV?
Yeah, I actually we have a really good example of an influencer video we did, so maybe we can take a look at that first.
Yeah.
So I'm known for having world's worst hangovers, which is why I've been limiting the amount I go out. Ow, 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 yeah. I've been looking for a cure for a very long time, and a few months ago, people were like, Remy, you need to try Liquid IV.
So I don't know if you guys follow Remy, but I love her. I was so excited when we got to work with her. But Liquid IV has always worked with influencers. Like, we started from the start with that strategy, and obviously that predates me a little, but it's still a really strong performance channel for us. And we really do understand the value that influencers bring to our overall media strategy, right? We see them as an extension of our brand, and really collaborate with them, because that's what's gonna lead you to get more of those innovative campaigns and content that really performs. Yeah, and I think what's great as well is influencers are the ones driving these trends on social channels, right? They're testing new features first, they're testing new platforms first, so we're really following them. I think we work really, really hard to build these close relationships with influencers. They're our partners, and that really does benefit us. It helps us be more agile and stay on top of these trends when we have those relationships to lean into.
Yeah.
So I'm known for having
Oh, played it again, huh? But speaking of which, I also really love this example, which we'll play for you guys, and then Brooke, you can speak about this too.
3 things that everyone should do before going out at night. Number 1, change their name in your phone to do not text. It won't work, but the thought is there. Number 2, you want to wear something that's going to show off that you're hot, but like not thirsty. And being thirsty leads me to point number 3. Make sure you hydrate yourself with some Liquid IV and use code HYDRATION25 for 25% off your whole order.
So it's good life advice, and it includes the product.
Yep, and he's great. We've worked with Bran a lot, and we don't try to be prescriptive with him, as you can probably tell. Like, we really let him tell us like what he thinks will work for his audience.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about TikTok in general, some of the success that you've seen over there. I love the approach. We obviously saw brand flakes over there, but what about the general approach from a media perspective?
Yeah, so I think that collab we just watched is a really good example of how we've been able to make TikTok work with us, because we've been able to get on trends really early.
Sure.
So that video was, I think, the first one we did with him, but then he created a trending sound. And so we reached out to him immediately, and we're like, hey, how can we make this work for us? And he right away turned around a video just adapting that trending sound for us. So like, what is a better case scenario for a brand that a creator takes his sound that's trending and makes it for you? I can't think of one. It was a way that we were really authentically able to jump on that trend, and it wasn't cringeworthy at all, which I feel like sometimes if brands do. But I think what also has really worked well for us on TikTok is we were on the platform early.
Yeah.
We weren't trying to be perfect with our content. We were just, having fun and figuring it out like everyone else was, back at the beginning of 2020. And that really helped us because we had a baseline to test against. So TikTok rolled out an early version of their creative marketplace that we jumped on immediately, and we were able to then measure that performance lift that creators' ads gave us, which was a proof point for us to double down. And then we had this huge pool of our influencer community that we're able to dip into and then leverage for more creator ads. I think what's been a little difficult more recently on TikTok is, everyone realized that creator ads work and everyone's playing in the channel now. So for us, it's how are we staying competitive on that channel and keeping our performance efficiencies? So we've definitely, with the help of Tinuiti, been creative in our buying, using our own in-feed ads, using Spark ads from creators to scale our spend. And then we've seen it work. We ended up seeing, I think it was Q2 to Q3 last year, a 48% increase in ROAS. So, it's working, and we'll keep figuring out, with the help of our influencers and our team, how to stay ahead of those trends so we can keep that performance.
Yeah, and that's impressive to see that ROAS gain, especially as it's become more challenging. We're seeing, in some cases, performance dips, but you've been able to, as it's gotten more competitive, really stay ahead of the curve there with some of those strategies. And certainly TikTok, you've done a wonderful job over there. One of the interesting ones for me has always been Snapchat as well. You guys were a very early adopter over there and have really stayed consistent with the strategy there. So tell us about why Snapchat, and specifically with some of the augmented reality stuff, which gives you kind of another edge. What is different about that, and how are you approaching it from that perspective?
Yeah, and Avi, we've talked about this. Like, I feel a lot of there was a period where a lot of brands left Snapchat, and are just probably now just rediscovering it more, but we never left. Yeah. We know our audience is there. Gen Zers are on Snapchat on the daily. That's how they're communicating. I've seen people use Snapchat like I use iMessage.
Yeah.
So we want to be where our audience is and be speaking to them authentically in the right place. So that's why Snapchat is still a part of our holistic paid social strategy. And then within Snapchat too, we take a full funnel approach. So we use those AR lenses that you mentioned and use those as our awareness placements to fuel performance down funnel with our story and feed ads. You'll see the example of an AR lens was one we used last year, which was gamified and audio controlled. So you can voice control the sticks to catch water in them, which was really fun. Yeah, and then we did a national lens on National Hydration Day, which was great as well. We saw how that fueled our down funnel ads the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So we ran a study too during that time. Again, we're always trying to measure performance, and we did see a lift in purchase intent, a 10-point lift in purchase intent during that study, which I was really thrilled about.
Yeah.
Because the
it's
norm.
Hard to move. It's
yeah.
Really hard to move.
I think Snapchat said the norm for CPG is a 1-point lift.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad about that at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really great. I think we'll need to maybe do a collaboration of the SAD filter soon, you and I.
We were just talking about this last night.
If you haven't checked it out, highly recommend it. It's great stuff. And speaking of some other channels as well, one of my favorite ones, because I think it's sort of glossed over despite the fact that it's actually been in the market for over 15 years at this point, is Reddit. And you guys have taken an especially interesting approach over there, taking advantage of a couple of different products that they have as well.
Yeah, I think Reddit might scare brands sometimes, and it's a very unique platform. But we knew our audience was there, and they're having the conversations that we want to engage in. Right. It's all about finding and sharing information, and definitely a platform that might be easier to have that conversation, specifically around the science of our formula. So we definitely want to have that conversation. So we, dipped our toes into Reddit, but we wanted to make sure we're doing it the right way. So we actually reached out, with the help of Tinuiti, reached out to the Reddit team, got their advice on our creative, actually had them draft copy for us because we really wanted to make sure that we're speaking the language of Reddit. I know it's unfamiliar to me, so didn't want to mess that up. But we did see, that channel can fuel our funnel as well and also be a performance driver. They have their category takeover, so you'll see this example for our grape launch at the beginning of the year. We used their CTOs, and we were able to increase performance pretty efficiently. We saw a 58% improvement in CPA. Again, amazing.
Yeah. I loved this one also with the purple. It's a little Tinuiti-esque, so I appreciated that.
You're right, it really is. It's also my favorite flavor.
Yeah. Well, we'll see with the tropical one coming out. That might change things a little bit, Brooke. So what we're really seeing here is a very nuanced approach to social, right? It's taking advantage of different channels, different parts of the funnel, different creative elements as well. So all different variations there. I'm wondering if you could just talk about the big picture a little bit within social and how you think about the landscape as a whole for a brand that's trying to really break through.
Yeah, I love this question, and I think it's really important to talk about because we're probably all feeling the effects of privacy changes and loss of last click attribution. So when we think about our paid social strategy, we do really think about it from that holistic perspective, because we want to take a step back and really understand how all these channels are working together, because they really do. Your customers and your audience, some are using multiple social channels, some are using maybe primarily just one. So being able to be where they're at with the right content at the right time is really important, especially for us. Like, we want to make sure that we're speaking to them authentically too on each of these platforms, which is why, we've talked about influencers using the right creative. It's just really important for us, and it really does all work together to drive that higher ROI, and that's what we're seeing. I think, again, with these changes the industry is seeing, not looking at channels in a vacuum is really important. I think you then end up losing sight to the full impact that your media spend could have all working together. So that's been really important for us and really helpful for us as we look at our media mix. I also think with performance marketing, there's only so much you can spend before you hit diminishing returns.
Also true, yeah.
Yeah, you have to be feeding your top of funnel, which again was why our awareness plays are really important for us. Our awareness placements, our awareness channels within the full context of our media mix. So being able to fuel that top of funnel and see those efficiencies down funnel has really been working well for us. And I think it's really critical for any brand to think about. It's definitely like a way to fuel your growth, and that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, and I love what you said there, because I think that full funnel approach and the way you've taken advantage of it at Liquid IV, it's not in direct opposition to performance marketing. I think we think about that traditionally as that might be the case. But in fact, it's actually enhancing that performance marketing as well, which is great.
Exactly.
So the name of the session, the next big thing in social. We're always looking ahead a couple years, seeing what's actually on the horizon. So for marketers who are looking to restructure their organization, get set for that next big thing in social, what are some of your tips, recommendations, things to do to really prep for that?
Yeah, I think we spoke about a lot of things. There's privacy, influencers, is it TikTok, is it Snapchat? So I hope people can take away 3 things here. One is really investing in your relationships with influencers. It's worked really, really well for Liquid IV. These partners help us stay agile. They help us stay on trend. Again, they're the ones driving these trends on the social platforms. And the more you help them understand your brand, the better that content you're going to get back from them is going to be. And that's what drives performance. And it also helps leads to more innovative campaigns. I don't think if we had worked with, had told Remy or brand what to do, that they would have had as much fun content. So being not overly prescriptive of your influencers as well is just so helpful. Their audience follows them for a reason, so they know what works.
They know what's best. They know. Yeah. Just make sure that they're showing the brand and not just dancing, right?
Oh yes, I've definitely seen that before. And maybe had to provide a little notes, but they always come back with great edits. And then secondly, really know and understand where and follow your community. So I think Snapchat is a really great example of that. We knew that Gen Z millennial audience is there. They're using the platform. So being able to stay on that platform with interesting, fun content, whether it's a lens, a story ad, is a great example. And then, testing Reddit, and I'm really excited to see where that goes for us as well, because I think sky's the limit there. But just being able to know where your audience is and create content that's really native to the platform, I think is really, really important. I know some people like to test their TikTok ads on Facebook or vice versa, but really looking at the channel, understanding the content, and how your audience will engage with that content is, again, really crucial to performance.
The relevancy, for sure.
Yep. And then finally, I think we talked about this a good amount, is that full funnel approach. So I won't get too much into the privacy changes and the loss of last click attribution because it makes my head hurt. But really being able to step back and looking at your media mix and making sure that you have that awareness that is fueling the performance channels. is really important because they do all work together. I can't stress enough. I don't think any buyer or any marketer really looks at their channels in a vacuum, and you really shouldn't be.
Very true. Yeah.
Because they do. They all fuel each other, and they all work together for that higher ROI, which is obviously what we're looking for.
Yeah.
So just understanding how they work together is really, really important. And then I'll also say it helps, a lot to have a great team like Tinuiti supporting us.
I'll take that. I'll take that comment. Yeah. I think we'll put one of those quote pictures up there for us on that one. Yeah.
As long as I get a commission.
Yeah. Perfect. We'll work it out.
But yeah, no, I love talking about this stuff. Like, it's just, I think everything is really, the industry changes are really affecting all of us, and really understanding how maybe I don't know what the next big thing is, but I can, prepare as much as possible. Right. And set us up for success. And then again, like, just being agile and having those pools that you can dip into, whether it's your own team, it's your influencers, is really helpful. And that's how we're able to stay on trend and stay ahead of some of these innovations in paid social.
Yeah, absolutely. And it opens you up to those opportunities when you're doing these things for the next big thing.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, Brooke, it was great to have you here, finally to hang out in person and not just over Zoom, even if it's in front of a bunch of people. We got to hang out, so that's pretty good.
So excited.
Yeah, and I hope you'll enjoy the session. Brooke and I will be outside in the lobby if you have any questions. I'm sure Brooke would love to talk about Liquid IV and Tropical Punch some more coming out, so definitely stop by, and thank you all for joining.
Thank you.